Alright guys, welcome back to another war video with the Interceptor. As you can see, I am on the side of my my laptop because my PC doesn't work for recording videos. It only works for streaming, or at least I haven't been able to figure it out yet. And I don't think this is full size. There we go. But today, for this war, this was about a week ago, a little over a week ago, we actually matched for Loki. And I had not been having the best season so far, this season, so I stopped recording my videos after the 6th war, and I only started recording on this war, so all the other ones in between, I only recorded specific fights, not most of them. So yeah, that's why you guys aren't seeing a lot of war videos from me this season. I just got really demotivated after I had such a rocky start, and usually I have a bad start in the season, then I go like 8 wars in a row without dying, and that just didn't happen this season. So yeah, we are going in today with the team of Colossus, Quake, and White Magneto. So when I was recording this video, I was actually in the middle of my 4th path of Abyss. Maybe it was, yeah, my 4th path. Maybe it was my 3rd path. I don't even remember. It's either my 3rd or my 4th. I did 3 paths within a week, so I'm not exactly sure, but yeah, either way, I wanted to have Doom for one of my fights, but Colossus works just as well. It's just a little longer of a fight. So in section 1, we have this Voodoo, and the reason people place him on this node is because he starts with such a long regen, and you can actually Quake this fight quite easily. I've done it multiple times before, but I think part of the reason he's actually placed on this node is to be a little bit of a Quake counter, because a lot of people don't know that the normal strategy of holding heavy at the beginning of the fight to stop the regen from activating does not work against him because of his enhanced ability accuracy. So we just play this as a normal dex fight, and all of the Quake fights except for one of them in this video are sped up to ×2 speed, just because it's all the same. And also, I should have put this in the title, but I actually have a flawless war. I take 0 hits this whole war. I think I only take 1 blocked hit that was not intentional the entire war, and I think it's actually in this fight. So in this fight, this is Masochism and Invisible Woman, and this is a decent placement, but I was going to bring Torch for this fight, but then we needed a White Magneto pre-fight for Mole Man, so I thought Quake would work just as well. And I don't know if you'll see it in this fight, but there's one point right there. Okay, you saw right there. I took a blocked hit that was not a parry. That's the only mistake I make this whole war. Every single one of my fights from here on out are absolutely flawless. So yeah, if that's the worst mistake you make in an alliance war, is missing a parry but still getting the block, that's a pretty good war. But yeah, we had to put the pre-fight on because the guy was taking Mike's Mole Man. But now this is actually after the global is down, and this is the Footloose kinetic reactor or kinetic transference node. Things are a common placement here, and usually what we do is we either bring Stealthy or we bring Quake. And today I was the one bringing Quake after the global was down. I did this war like I planned it, so I knew that no one in the middle would be needed for the boss section, so I'm doing all these fights after the boss is down. So this fight's actually a little bit long, and the reason is because when you Quake, the damage dealt is actually physical damage, and with Thing, he is going to, without the ability to reduce his ability accuracy, because you'll see this node is Force of Will, so immune to ability accuracy reduction, we actually can't prevent our damage from triggering the protection. So either every 2nd, or I think it was every 3rd, I'm not sure, cycle with Quake was just all the damage is being eaten up, but I still consider Quake to be the best counter to that fight, so it's not really a big deal. And this is the last fight I have sped up in the video. I know it's been a lot of them, but I think this is the last one. And I do think my microphone's a little loud. Let me just turn it down a little bit. Let's see how that is. Might be a little better. But yeah, we're Quaking this fight. Also, the first 2 fights that I took were Brian Grant's Defenders, and the last fight I'm going to take in this fight is one of Karate Mike's Defenders, so I thought that was a little cool. Of course, Karate Mike, you guys know, used to be in BG1 in D69, but I think it was 3 seasons ago, or 2 seasons ago. I think it was 3 seasons ago, so season 20, or season 21. I don't know. He left us for Loki, but we stayed on great terms. He's still in our group chat. For like the D69 main group chat, but we kicked him out before the war started, or like right as the war started, and we kicked him out. And then we brought him back in as soon as we cleared the last defender. So yeah, just being a little safe there. And now we've got this Silver Surfer, and this is on the unblockable node. Wow, the game just seems so slow right after you stop speeding up the gameplay. But yeah, this is a pretty simple fight. We're just going to go parry heavy with Colossus. For this war, it did not make sense to turn on my suicides, so I didn't. None of the fights really would benefit from it too much. I mean, Colossus is decently suicide friendly, but not very suicide friendly. And then I also just Quake. If you use Quake with suicides and boosts, it just is not a good combination. And for these fights here, I'm using a 30% boost because at this point, the war was still extremely close. Now, let me just tell you guys the way this war went. This war was very, very close the entire time. So they started off rough. They died 3 times in the first 50 fights, or 4 times, I can't remember. We started out good. We were, I think, 104 when they were like 107, I think. We just had a really, really rough second half of the war, and when I'm still doing this fight, we were at around 130 attacker kills. They had already fully cleared. They died with 11 deaths, and we had 7 at this point, so I knew I did not really have much room for error, so I'm just going to play to my best. But the whole reason that people put Silver Surfer on here is because the special one inflicts those armor breaks, and then the armor breaks from the node. If you don't hit him, that's another one, so he can go fully unblockable. But Colossus is armor break immune when he's not fighting tech champs, so it's just pretty simple. And now we're going for this Doom. Now you see RZS, he was on the Path 5, and he was one that I sent him today with the full Ghost Trinity for double Path 5. Because I think they placed like a Hitmonkey and a Mordo on the first section, and those are just 2 textbook ghost fights. So I think he actually made it through this war without using an item because they were so easy. But yeah, so right there you'll see that I get my armor break, which is perfect because even if I make a mistake in this fight, I'm not in too much danger of dying. And you guys will see this fight is going to take a long time. I probably should have sped this up about 20% or so. This fight's going to take about 3 minutes, but it is incredibly safe. So, with this fight, the nodes on here, we have, of course, the Intercept. This also has the one where they get extra power gain and attack, redoubled determination when they have debuffs on them. And then also it has the, crumbling armor, I think it's called. Yeah, crumbling armor. This is just generally a hard node. I mean, usually we see a Void on this node who we take with either Warlock or Ghost, but seeing Doom on this node was actually really nice because we knew this was one we could Quake very easily. And I could have also Quaked this fight very, very easily with the global still up, but I could not have easily Quaked the thing on Footloose with the link up. I have seen it done before, where you just take a hit or you take a blocked hit. Usually taking a hit is the smartest decision, like right before the stun expires, and you lose like 5% of your health, they 10% of their health, and the armor breaks heal you, so you'll usually win the fight. But we're just being safe here. The 2 links that come from this, by the way, on Path 5, there's Sadist, and Sadist actually can't affect the fight if you're Quaking. The only way it can affect the fight is if you're running Resonate and you mess up and throw a heavy. That is the only possible way, and then the heavy activates Resonate. In no other way can Sadist affect this fight, so my plan was to take that thing and these 3 fights, so all Path 4, up to this Doom. I planned to take them all in one boosting session, but by the time the boss was down, it was 2 a.m. Eastern time, and the two people that were on the path with me, path 5 and path 6, they were already asleep. And if you don't know, it actually takes 6 energy to get from the first mini to the second mini if you're on either path 4 or 6. If I was on path 5, I could have reached this Doom and done it all in one boosting session, but we're just being safe here. So I threw on boosts for thing, and then I boosted again for this. But yeah, as you can see, that was a very, very easy fight. We ended with 100% health on all of our champions. We were able to use the pre-fight. Now, going into that Doom fight, I was actually supposed to use the White Magneto pre-fight, and I forgot, which just made the fight a little longer, but it really does not matter at all. And we did actually win this war. So we beat, for Loki, we beat them by 1 death. We died 10 times. They died 11 times. At the end of the war, we still had 11 fights to clear, and we had 10 deaths. So we had to solo all 11 of the last fights, or we would have lost or tied this war. And we actually managed to do it. And that was including 2 bosses. Fintech took down the BG2 Thing boss with Tigra, which was a really nice fight. He sent me, or I think he sent the video in the group chat. And then also Cosmic Magnet was able to solo the boss in BG3. So that was actually really awesome. We did take home the victory. Now, I won't be uploading any more wars from this season, except for War 12. War 12 will be coming soon after this one. But this was just a war where, you know, I finally found my groove, and I actually had a very, very good war. And Quake is the champ that I'm #1 most confident with in Alliance War, so it was just nice to be able to use her for a lot of fights, because I'm usually dependent on for to use like Ghost and just use Warlock and Magic and all those champs. But yeah, just uploading this video because I thought I had a good war. But that's going to be it for this one. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I will have another one coming for War 12 against Tiff. I think it was Tiff. And then also the War Season rewards. But yeah, that's going to be it, and I'll see you guys in the next one.